Manx Radio's 1 to 3, tended by Ramsey Garden Centre. Pick up your new all-season loyalty card in-store today and start collecting reward points.
I've got studio guests who've literally just walked into the studio. I've sat them down, I've tested their mics, and now I'm going to make the mics live. They've got no time at all to prep for this. Fastermeyer, Richard Fletcher.
Fastermeyer.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Do you do any Manx at all? Do you speak any Manx?
No, I'm afraid I don't. Apart from the very odd word of it, such as tie veg and things like that.
That's the most important one. Ollie, Lockley, do you know what tie veg is? You might need it several times a day, put it that way.
Yeah.
Toilet. Yes. Well done, that man. So there you go. These are our studio guests. We've got Richard Fletcher talking to us about the Hospice Half, and Ollie Lockley as well, who's been roped in for very understandable reasons, gold medal winning athlete. We'll come to you first, Richard. So just tell us, how did this Hospice Half come about? Because it's this weekend, isn't it? So you've been prepping for it for some time, but how did it all come about?
It came about really because the chief exec of Hospice Isle of Man, John Knight, he's run charities for years, and he's always recognised the value of events as a revenue stream for charity, particularly mass participation events. I've known John for quite a long time, and he asked me to come aboard and help them with getting a series of events off the ground.
And you're a cyclist yourself, so very sporty, so you also understand the kind of whole nature of sporting events and what they can do for a community as well, really. Yeah,
and I think the key is getting a range of people involved in it, so it's not just for elite athletes. It lends itself to events where people like things as a challenge or a fun run, even a fun element to it. So a half marathon does tick all those boxes, really. You have people, the likes of Ollie, who are elite athletes, looking for a time, looking for a performance, but you also have people who just want to take on the challenge and have a good day out.
So you don't have to necessarily think of it as a race?
No, not at all. No, I mean, we expect a wide range of times on the event. I mean, some people will half walk it probably, but that's fine.
That would be me, I'm just saying. Unless I got some amazing hints and tips from Ollie. Ollie, obviously, you've been running for quite some time. I think were you 16 or something when you first started competing?
Properly, yeah. 16.
I've made it sound like you started running at 16 and haven't stopped yet.
Nearly half my life ago, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And we know you've done incredibly well over that time. I'm sure you've got some great hints and tips for people out there who are thinking of doing this. Can you do this with having no experience whatsoever, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as Richard just said, like it's definitely more of a community race, I think, and that's kind of the goal of why we sort of got together and got it set up. But with it being a half, it's quite a nice middle ground. It provides a good challenge for people who are, maybe just running twice a week, or even just walking or doing couch to 5K. And then on the other end, it's a good challenge for sort of more the elite athletes. So I think it brings a good mix of people together of both ends of the spectrum.
And it's in the north of the island on Sunday. So is it just kind of in and around Ramsey then? Yeah,
so it's 2 laps of basically Ramsey town, and then you head out along the Bride Road, and then you kind of go along all the B roads, so kind of out to the Regby Road, back along the Nasser Road, and back into Ramsey again. So you have a good chunk of the course kind of out, in the depths of the north, and then you come back into the town. So we kind of wanted Ramsey to be the focal point of the race, the start and the finish, and kind of bring in the whole community as well, and not just the runners.
What do you think are going to be some of the more sort of challenging parts?
I didn't realise how gradually sort of steep the Regby road is. In my head I thought, it's pan flat, but when I've done 2 recce's of the course now, and it's quite a mean little sort of ascent up there. So I think that'll be a bit of a challenge. I think if the wind's if the wind's coming off the sea, it might be in your face coming back into Ramsey, but that's just the Isle of Man, isn't it? So we'll have to see.
Exactly. I know we've got our own good terrain for practicing on, really, haven't we, with things like this? Well, don't go anywhere. We'll talk to you more about this. So this event, the Half Marathon, is going to be on Sunday, so I'll find out all the details. If you're listening and you're thinking, I might want to take part in this, you need to register tonight. We'll find out more in just a moment, so don't go anywhere. If you've got any questions for our studio guests, 166. So we're chatting with Richard Fletcher and with Ollie Lockley about this this Sunday's half marathon for Hospice, which is taking place in Ramsey, around Ramsey. We've just heard a little bit about the course there. Richard, it's your last chance to enter. Is it midnight tonight?
Yeah, for the half marathon it is. I mean, we've got some support races going on whilst the half marathon runners are out on the course in the north. We've got a couple of street races, which is one for 7 to 10 year olds, which is just a little 560 metre race around the streets of Ramsey. Lots of nice prizes donated by Boston Multifamily Office. And it's a fun race, so 7, 8, 9 and 10 year olds. And then we also have a mile race, which is 2 laps of a street course for anybody 11 and over, adult right the way through to adults.
And how do they sort of raise the money then for Hospice? Do you have forms that they fill in, or?
Yeah, I mean, for the street races, we just want them to come and take part. It's not a fundraising exercise. That for the half marathon, it's a mixture of things. We've had some very generous sponsorship from Fletcher International. We've also had help with the costs of running the event from the Domestic Event Fund, the Department for Enterprise. And then there's entry fees. And we also have what we call our VIPs, who are a group of people who are taking part in the race who've chosen to get sponsorship through Just Giving, and they've raised a significant amount of money through that.
Which is excellent. And of course, needed now more than ever, as we've been hearing in the news about Hospice recently. And Ollie, obviously, this isn't just about fundraising either. It's also excellent for your health and mental wellness as well, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. It's... I just think having another race on the calendar is a good sort of incentive for people to get involved with athletics on the Isle of Man. And, obviously with running, you have to train for it. So if people are walking or jogging or running or racing, then, that you have to put the training in. So, and if that gets people out and about, that's great.
I mean, what is the best way, if someone decides to sign up today to take part in the half on Sunday, what is the best thing they can do over the next few days to prep?
If they're signing up today and they
shouldn't do it.
Well, I'm not going to tell them not to do it, but I would say probably don't change anything. Don't do anything new. Just kind of get out and enjoy it, and then and hopefully you have a good experience. And I think that this is an event that we kind of want to be a staple in the calendar. So hopefully next year we can build on it, and the year after and stuff. So if that gets if someone's motivated from the event, then hopefully they can come back next year.
How long does it take to run a half marathon then?
Who's
roughly
doing it?
Okay, obviously you're going to do it super quick. The average kind of person, how long would you expect to take you to run a half marathon? As Ollie Lockley, gold medal winner, etc., etc.
I'll probably be looking at 105 or so.
And someone who sort of just dabbles in it.
I think 2 hours is a good benchmark for a lot of people. And then there's a good scotch of athletes over here that are kind of around the 120 on the men's side, and on the women's, anything kind of 150 and under. So, but I think if you're generally fit and you get out and you kind of enjoy the sport, then I think 2 hours is a good benchmark for a lot of people.
And it's 2 hours running around a beautiful part of the island as well. So,
what else would you rather be doing on a Sunday morning?
Exactly. Are you going to be doing it?
I'll be racing, running,
okay. So as I was just saying off air, it's leading by example, isn't it, really? You can't talk about these things and not actually do it yourself, which is great.
Exactly. It's a good, me and Richard have both sort of sat down months gone prior and had a look over the course and things. So, it'd be nice to actually be a part of the event as well. And obviously it's nice being on either side of the fence, but to race it is obviously the thing you want to do, isn't it? So,
well, I mean, you might one day, maybe.
Yeah.
Richard, coming back to the sort of community side of it, then this has got to be a great thing for Ramsey Town as well. Yeah,
I mean, from very early stages of the planning, we engaged with Ramsey Town commissioners. It was Stephen Bevan, the interim town clerk at the time, and they were very welcoming of us, and they're being very supportive. They're helping us with the logistics, with barriers and things like that, because to make this the size of event we wanted it to be, we needed road closures. Road closures do inconvenience some people, but I think we've minimised the disruption as much as possible by using quiet roads. And conversely to that, we wanted to close Ramsey down to pedestrianise it almost, and we've done a proper sort of shop to shop survey, and there's over 30 businesses are staying open on Sunday morning. So we hope it'll be completely complementary to the town in that we'll bring a lot of people to the town on a time that would normally be quiet. and that we'll have the sort of safety and security of closed roads to do that.
And are you still looking for volunteers to help out as well?
Yeah, we're done very well for helpers, but I never refuse volunteers. So if anybody wants to come, and if they're coming to watch anyway, they want to pull on a high-vis vest as well and act as a steward, I'm doing sign-on sessions for the stewards on Friday at the Manx Harriers Clubhouse in Douglas between 4 and 6, on Saturday between 12 and 1 in the same place, and then from 6 till 7 we'll be in the in our race HQ actually, which will be the Ramsey Community Hub, the old courthouse as I'd know it, in Parliament Street. So if the people want to get in touch with me on 329999, I'd still welcome help on that. But yeah, we've been blessed with a lot of good people to come forward and volunteer.
Often the way here on the Isle of Man. So registration closes midnight tonight for the main half marathon race. If you are young and though and you want to take part in some of the street races, you can just turn up. We'll post all the details on our website. Last word from you, Ollie. If you're getting hot, if you're almost there and then you start getting a stitch and you think, oh, I don't know if I can carry on, what words of advice would you give someone?
I would just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and to be honest, if you have to stop, then like you said, it's a beautiful part of the island. So just take in the views, take a breather, and then get going again. So there's no, whether you're walking, jogging, or running, just try and enjoy it and keep going.
It's about the taking part.
Definitely.
And you know what? Ollie's going to be at the front anyway, so, just follow him. It's fine.
Manx Radio's 1 to 3, tended by Ramsey Garden Centre. Pick up your new all-season loyalty card in-store today and start collecting reward points.